I did wonder, actually, considering...
Oh, you want me to update topic on?
The whole kind of horse meat in our British food thing, where the chocolate was going to be like running to our supermarkets and having sex with a lasagna.
Wow.
No comment.
Oh my god.
I don't even want to fucking know.
Oh, dear.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we're live.
Oh, we're live. Oh, shit. Well, hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hear my dog?
Hello.
Brennan here, and this is the second episode of the newest season of the podcast 2013 Super Special Arcade Edition.
I love that it was like,
Flex.
oh, we kind of forgot to do podcasts anymore, so when we started up, let's just call it a season.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it. I mean, that's what other online groups do. They make up shit and then go, "Oh, it's
Why do you gotta blow
season
up our spot, Zed? Come on.
Yeah, really.
We're making it look
Like,
classy.
we can just like stop for no reason and then come back in like 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Brennan here, and I am joined this evening by the illustrious Deadpool,
Hello.
the lovely Rook,
Hello.
the somewhat serious Chocolate,
Hey.
and as a special guest for this evening, and who knows when he'll join ever again, maybe next week, the British Zed.
That's the hi.
Yes, I used that term.
Like I'm summed up as just like British. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's-
some of everything I am.
Well, I mean, chocolates are black guys, so
Like when I die, like I'll be dead, and on my gravestone it'll say, "Here lies Zed. He was British."
if you happen to be buried in America, maybe we'll just do that for you. We'll all pitch together, and your gravestone will say, "Here is Zed. He was British."
He was British.
Oh. So
When they need to
anyways-
resurrect the ultimate British man, they'll just resurrect you.
Yes, there you go. All right.
Not
So,
only am I
anyways,
British, I'm like the personification of all things Britain.
Right, catapult,
yeah,
Mario.
absolutely. Anyways, let's bring the train back onto the rails. So, welcome. Thank you all for joining us for week 2. I hope you listened to the first podcast that we had. Well,
Is
I
that
guess
up
the first podcast of I put it up a while ago. We just haven't made a YouTube video yet of it. It's in topic right now. Hopefully, I have a YouTube video up. I'm probably going to make one after this because I need to take the time and do that.
Don't
Anyways.
do it now, 'cause you'll miss this.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't go listen to it now. Listen to this now, and then come back later and listen to the first episode of the podcast,
And maybe also this one.
and then maybe this one again. Yes, after you're done. Sure. Anyways, Chocolate tonight has played his game from last week, which is Uncharted.
Uncharted Waters.
Uncharted Waters.
Oh,
which
damn
is-
it, I didn't mean to challenge him to a duel. I'm gonna die again.
Which is the prequel, of course, the prequel to Uncharted on PS3. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it
Anyways.
was a sequel because time travel.
Yes,
We
sequel.
figured
That's
this out
right.
last
Time
week.
travel. We talked about this last week. So
It's
refer
just
to
kind
last
of like
week's episode.
the traveling. You know those bits in Wind Waker where you're just going from one island to the other?
Yeah.
Like this is just that for Uncharted.
Yep.
Ah, that makes sense. Yep. Okay. So anyways, let's move right along into our normal set of things instead of trying to joke about being British and other
It's
things.
not a joke for me. It's my life.
to
You
joke
live
for
that
everybody
life.
else.
It's very
Yeah, there you
serious.
All right, and we're going to move right along into our normal scheme of things. So start off, of course, we always talk about what everybody has been playing. And since Zed, you're the guest, has there been
Yes.
any interesting games you have been playing recently, sir?
I have been playing, and this might come as a shock to a lot of you, Ni no Kuni.
That is not that shocking, actually.
Oh, it's just because it's like a RPG and it's like all turn-based and stuff. So
Yeah, well, no, I know it's a...
approve.
What?
It's not
I
quite
approve.
turn-based. It's kind of actiony.
it's
sort
in
of like
this really
Tales.
weird middle ground where I don't understand why they didn't just pick one or the other and do that.
Well, have you played any of the games of the Tales series?
Yes,
Okay.
but they would
Well,
like their combat was like actiony. Like you actually had
Yeah.
to. But then this is kind of like sort of actiony, but you still have to wait. And it's like, well, just pick one and like do that.
Mm.
But most of the Welsh voice acting is hilarious, so I let it go.
Right on.
Crybaby
I-
bunting.
Oh, I'm
That
dead.
is,
Oh man, it's so good.
that is definitely on my list of games that I need to pick up and play at some point. My collector's edition strategy guide ended up coming in this week, which was very unfortunate for me, considering I don't have the game now. But anyways, so anything else, Ed, or has it just been a lot of Ni no Kuni for you?
What else did I play? I've been playing the game that I'm making, but I don't think that counts. I think that's kind of like masturbation.
That is kind of like, yes. I would
Hey, man,
agree with that
It
assessment.
always counts. Always.
Anyways, all right, let's move right along then. Chocolate obviously is playing Uncharted Water, so we'll continue on his drive. Rook, what have you been playing recently? Anything?
I picked up 2 games, new ones.
Cool.
I played through and finished the Unfinished Swan.
Okay.
Which-
How can you finish the Unfinished Swan?
Kind of, sorta. I really enjoyed it. That was a really neat experience. I've never played a game quite like that before. It has some throwbacks to Journey and actually makes a reference to it, but is very distinct and different. And I recommend everyone who can pick it up and play the hell out of it.
Right on.
And the second game would be Warframe, with which I am embarrassing myself greatly.
Warframe.
Warframe. It's a lot of fun, actually.
It's spiritual sequel to Dark Sector. Same guys made it.
Right.
Space Ninjas, man. Space
Space Ninjas. That's it.
Damn
Yeah.
space ninjas.
Why don't they just call it that?
Because Warframe is the name of the suit that you're fighting in.
Yes, I'm not.
And
You know,
Space
if
Ninjas
I'm
would
in
be
a shop,
too much exposition for this
And-
this generation of gamers.
I'm looking at the box art and I'm looking at the titles. I see Warframe. I think, oh well, that's about like some sort of conflict-based scaffolding. But, you see like space ninjas. You're like, oh, space ninjas. I want that.
Well, yeah, Warframe to me actually does kind of sound like you're running around in Metal Gears, like fucking Warframes, So I definitely agree with you there, Zed. How about yourself, Deadpool? What have you been playing recently? I know you're continuing on your Final Fantasy stream, obviously, because that's going to take up the rest of the year for you. But
That's what takes so much fucking time.
what else?
So,
What else?
well, can I just talk about my Final Fantasy 6 stream real quick?
Sure,
So-
you can pimp your stream.
Just a quick thing that happened. So, I got to the part of the opera. I think, Zed, you know what I'm talking about? With the
Of
opera.
course he does. It's like,
Oh yeah, you were there.
I watched you being bad at it.
So I got to the part with the opera, and I forgot to take around a 4th team member. And so I played for like another hour, and then they're like, "Why do you only have 3 team members?" And I'm like, "Cause I forgot." So then I reset. I did the whole thing over again.
Oh wow!
I'm expecting that to happen a lot this stream. But other than that, I got Borderlands 2 when it was on sale
Cool.
the other day. I've been playing the shit out of that whenever Chocolate's not feeling like shit.
yeah, I had my
Right on.
wisdom teeth out 2 weeks ago, and it still hurts because I have dry sockets.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the worst thing.
So just
Yeah, that
basically that, and then I've been playing
Fuck.
on the offhand because it's impossible to stream this fucking game. I've been playing the Clone Wars Republic Heroes game for
Ah,
reason. I don't know why,
okay. Fair enough.
but that's all
Right
I've been
on.
playing. Really.
Right on. What about
What about
yourself,
you,
Chocolate?
Brennan?
Well, for me, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, or Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance Part 1. Yeah, basically.
Yes,
Which
Solid
has actually
Rising
been a
Revengeance, revenge of the subtitle.
yes, exactly. Which has been a lot of fun. I'm stuck on this one boss at the moment, which is a little frustrating, but it actually frustrated me enough that I had to turn it off last night. I was done. I think I died to him about 10 times. But it's a fun, very fun game. You can definitely see where they where they took a lot of the little tips from Kojima, obviously. there's a lot to it in my opinion that actually makes me pretty happy. I know it's a short game. I know I'm probably gonna be done with it in the next day or two. But yeah, so I've been playing that. And Kathy came up this weekend. She actually brought me up a copy of Solomon's Key 2 for the Famicom.
Oh man!
But the thing is, it's a bootleg, so I don't know if it actually is Solomon's 2 or not. Because I looked it up, and it's definitely not. The sticker that's on it is definitely not the.
That is the weirdest game to make like a pirate copy of.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious as to what's on it. We're gonna find that out.
It's probably
later.
just a Dorito inside the cartridge.
You know when they have like if you go on X or whatever, and they've got like those creepypastas about like video game cartridges and shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up like being raped by some demon thing, like in your sleep, because of this pirate cart.
Okay, I just stopped paying attention by accident because I spaced out a lot. And then I suddenly
you woke up when I said the word rape.
That's interesting. So yeah, that happened. The other thing, of course, I'm still, although I haven't streamed it in a bit, maybe I'll stream it after podcast, depending on who picks up after podcast. Shenmue, because I need to finish that.
Okay.
Oh man, fucking love me some Shenmue.
I got some other stuff planned, but nothing concrete yet, unfortunately. Of course, I've been playing a lot of Dota 2 because Dota 2. What about you, Chocolate? Other than this Uncharted Waters game, have you been playing anything else of interest?
Bundyland, Fire Emblem Awakening. Currently breaking it with skills and reclassing repeatedly because
nice.
You can do that, and you probably have to on the harder difficulties.
Yeah, probably. I've actually been playing that too. I forgot to throw that out there. It's fun.
That's about it. Been doing family shit a bit this weekend.
Cool. All right, well, let's move right along then from the games we are playing this week to the games that you might be playing next week. And that, of course, the only big release next week is, of course, BioShock Infinite. And that comes out in just a little over 72 hours, 48 hours, a little over 48 hours.
Which, regardless of how good it ends up actually being, will be in the running for Game of the Year in anywhere that does a Game of the Year list.
Yes, of course, even though it's early in the year.
That doesn't matter.
Unless the story is as bad as 2, which is a definite possibility.
Sure, definitely a possibility. But I know a lot of people are interested in it. I know a handful of people probably. I know Callie, I believe, is going to be streaming it when he gets it. I had a copy pre-reserved, but unfortunately my pre-reserved copy is going to have to not be pre-reserved. Hopefully it'll still be up when I get my paycheck on Friday, so I can pick up the fucking collector's edition. Not the super collectors, but the limited.
One other game comes out next week that people care about.
Really?
Well, 2 games actually.
Really?
Well, one they'll care about,
Explorer.
one they don't care about. Bit Trip Runner 2 comes out.
Ah.
That's going to be. I think that's a Steam only release.
I really hope it's better than that stupid rhythm game they did.
Okay.
Well, it seems like all their stuff is rhythm. Yeah. And then the other one,
like the stupid one with the lines and and Donut probably knows what I'm talking about, and he's probably the only one, and he probably thinks I'm a moron. But there was this awful, terrible Bit Trip game that I think everyone's forgot existed.
Bit Trip Beat.
No, that was good.
That's all the games I have of Bit Trip on my Steam.
Exactly. See, you don't even know it exists.
So apparently,
Bit Trip 4?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It had like a cross in the middle, and then like these pixels fly from sides of the screen, and you have to press a direction and spacebar, and it's awful.
So that's weird. Hold on a second. So I just got corrected on this, and I'm actually double checking this. BioShock Infinite actually comes out next month, and I'm an idiot.
What?
It comes out March 26th.
Oh, right, because they pushed it back.
2 days ahead.
They pushed it back. My apologies. The website I am looking at is a bag of dicks.
Sorry, we got your hopes up.
Sorry, I got everybody's hopes up.
Although,
in terms of getting hopes up,
I mean, this would have been the week that I think Rayman Legends would have come out. So, you know.
Yeah. Etrian Odyssey comes out this week. Awesome. I can't afford it. Etrian Odyssey 4. According to Trippa.
Turnup says, "How dare me mess up my release dates? I am currently hanging my head in shame." I am so sorry for this.
One last game comes out this week is Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie Army.
That sounds like generic.
That's coming out this week.
Please go away.
No, so that's actually DLC for the
standalone
game. Oh, it's standalone.
Standalone, and it's you can buy it by itself.
Wow.
Interesting.
Isn't it like $7?
It's $11 to buy it now.
Sniping, zombie, Nazi.
Cannot be good.
Wow.
Zed, have you seen the slow-mo explosions? Have you seen the slow-mo explosions of the body parts?
Of course there are slow-motion explosions. There'd have to be.
They're X-ray. They're not just slow-mo, they're X-ray.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's...
Wow. Your bullets shatter your opponent's testicles.
Wow. Hold on. Sabur, I am offended. He just said that I work for Kotaku in terms of news accuracy.
Excuse me, we have journalistic integrity here.
I stand for my journalistic integrity, sir.
I'm sorry, do you hear us ranting about how there were no women at the PS4 thingy?
Yes.
Hey, you know what I noticed just now when Zed brought it up? There were no women at the...
God damn it, Chocolate. We are not Kotaku. Anyways, so that is the releases this week, which are not nearly as good as I originally thought they were. Hey!
Hooray! Disappointment.
Disappointment for all. So go back and play some more Metal Gear Revengeance.
Jericho just updated us that all that DLC is coming out. Dawn Guard's coming out for Skyrim. I think that's... What the hell is the other ones?
I thought Dawn Guard's been out.
Actually, so I do actually have some updates. I actually have a proper release date schedule now, so let me just throw these out there. Brutal Legend is finally coming out for the PC after 4 years of thing, which actually
finally in big quotation marks.
I should really pull up that audio from our old podcast of that person who isn't here anymore.
Have they fixed it? And by fixed it, I mean taken the first hour and made the rest of the game that.
I don't know. Apparently, Tim Schafer says that he would love to add more modes to the game because he's hoping that it takes off on Steam.
Like a mode that's like the first hour.
Yeah, basically.
For an entire game.
The other thing that's also being released tomorrow is Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus for the Vita.
For the Vita?
Oh, and Etrian Odyssey 4.
Tournament Edition.
Etrian Odyssey 4 comes out tomorrow or Tuesday as well. So... those are all the games that are coming out this week. Obviously, not much for people to buy. Although the Vita game actually... I've actually been playing the original Ninja Gaiden Sigma on the Vita, and it actually plays very well.
Isn't
very well.
Hotline Miami coming out on Vita soon?
Yes,
it is. This week? Next week?
No clue on dates. I don't remember. Sorry. Try again later.
Just add it on the pile of disappointment.
Yeah, there you go. Add it on the pile of
I don't have Rayman Legends, so I mean, how much more disappointed could I be?
Yeah, basically. Anyway, so let's move along out of disappointment land and into exciting new feature land. Of course, this podcast could not possibly be complete without me being a fanboy for a few minutes.
What have Valve done this week?
You.
Oh.
Shit, that's my other fanboyism. Fuck. No. But
spoilers. Something about Yakuza 5.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
I'm running out of things that you're a fanboy of. There's like a.
Come on, the big one. You know it. You know it to be true.
Come on. Gran Turismo 6.
Well, it's related to Gran Turismo 6.
It's going to be on the PS3.
Oh, that would be very disappointing. But anyways,
I hate to tell you this, but I was looking up news earlier. Gran Turismo 6 is going to be on the PS3.
No, it's not. There's no way it is.
No, it is. Seriously.
No, they said Gran Turismo 5 was going to be on the PS2, and look how that turned out.
Good point.
It's going to be on the PS4. There's no way it's going to be on the PS3. Anyways, so of course this past Wednesday, the world obviously of gaming changed a little bit-ish.
It did.
The world of gaming,
with the obvious the confirmation of the obviously named PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that was a bit lame.
I didn't think so.
The name.
I like it better than Infinity.
Yeah, if it's I would definitely like it better, especially if Xbox actually does call theirs Xbox Infinity. Just saying.
That would really suck for them when they come to the next generation.
Zed, welcome to our conversation last week. You should go listen to last week's podcast.
I probably should do that.
Because we actually had this exact conversation.
Let's take a minute. Like a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, PlayStation released a somewhat commercial for the PlayStation 7. And they're like, this is what we're eventually working towards. So it would be kind of weird if they named their consoles anything but numerics.
What would be even weirder is if they actually hit a target that they set 5 years ago.
True. I'll give you that. True. But anyways, let's talk about what we do know. We'll talk about what we don't know, and then we can actually do the whole everybody shitting on it thing that I know everybody wants to do.
I'm not going to say anything.
So, first of all, what we do know. The DualShock 4 is a reality. It does have a touchpad thing, not touchscreen, touchpad. A share button, an options button on the front. Different sticks. The controller looks a lot different. It's molded differently. The triggers are different, etc.
And the DualShock 3 won't work with the PS3.
And the DualShock, no old controllers will work with the PS3 as far as we know. Well, now they say the DualShock 3 won't. Whether or not PlayStation 3 controllers that hook up via USB will or will not, they have not confirmed or denied yet. So there's that. Second, there are some titles being released by the normal standing guard of the PlayStation Network, of the normal developers that you're used to seeing, which is a good thing, I think.
And also one that came out of nowhere.
Also one that came out of nowhere, yes.
Knack.
Absolutely. Yes, Knack absolutely did come out of nowhere. Let's see, what else? There's a lot of other news that's been put out about it. The Vita is going to be a very integral part of the game console experience. In fact, Sony asking developers to make sure that the PS Vita gets remote play before they submit it for publishing purposes.
You'd think they'd make sure the Vita had some games of its own first.
That'd be cool.
We're going to talk about that, actually. Of course, the price ranges of the games, Sony has confirmed that the next wave will not be more than $60 for a game.
Oh, what's actually, like, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on it, but they did say that, like, the lowest point will be 99 cents.
Well, yeah, of course, because PSN games. And they're also going to welcome free-to-play games, unlike probably what Microsoft will do.
That's just worrying.
Need that gold
account. That excites
account.
the fuck out of me, because Star Trek Online...
Really cool.
Star Trek Online was originally supposed to come out on the PS3.
Yeah.
So if it comes out on the PS4, I'd be happy.
And honestly, this is nothing new.
Although, I mean, they've got DC Universe. I think that's free to play on PS3.
I was going to say, they have Dust, which is free to play on the PS3. It's not new. It's not a new concept for Sony by any stretch of the imagination. Anyways, let's see what else. The new PlayStation Eye is going to have 2 cameras, so sort of the combination of the current PlayStation Eye for the PS3 and the Kinect, sorta.
They should have called it the PlayStation Eyes.
Whatever. The PS4 will not require an always-on internet connection, contrary to what most people figured. It will also output video in 4K, but games will not be played in 4K because the graphics processor cannot take 4K, and that doesn't surprise me because I don't believe Microsoft is going to be able to put one out either, because only the graphics cards that are just coming out right now are going to be able to put out 4K graphics for games, and they might actually not be able to that well.
I've seen a game in 4K. Played it, in fact.
But on PC, right?
Yeah, when I went to Eurogamer, they had... EA had done a special version of Most Wanted.
Right.
On like a 4K TV, and they gave you like a beanbag to sit in and everything. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not something that I would... I don't know how much it'd cost to do that.
It's going to cost a metric fuck ton.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? I guess that's really kind of it. We saw, Destiny is going to be PS4 along PS3. Blizzard announced that Diablo 3 is coming to the PS4 and PS3.
PS4 has you can
Watch
download
Dogs.
while you play.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The download while you play system, which I think is a great concept, and if it's performed correctly and well, or not correctly, but if it's performed well, then one of the biggest arguments that most people have against the PS3 would basically be eliminated, and that's install times.
Wait,
and I think a lot of this is because they acquired Gaikai.
Yes. Well, a lot of this is because they acquired Gaikai, which isn't, the worst thing in the world. If they use the technology for good, then
yeah,
cool.
I mean, it's a lot better application than I expected them to be doing with it.
Well,
absolutely.
What does that mean about the dudes out there? Like our dude underscore residents. Like, if your internet connection is not fast enough to handle downloading faster than you can play through a game,
then you'll have to wait.
Then slow down.
There is going to be an initial. Well, depending on how the system works. So there's two theories about how the system is going to work, right? The first one is that you're going to be using straight Gaikai. That the Gaikai system itself is going to actually stream you the game until it's loaded on your computer, on your PS4, and then it's going to seamlessly switch over.
Kind of like an on-live thing.
Awesome.
Kind of like an on-live thing, yeah, exactly. So you play it basically as if you were actually playing the game, and then it transitions to when you finally have the game fully on your system, or at least to the point where it actually does what it does. The other option is that it actually does it as they say it.
You see, I kind of imagine.
I'm thinking it's more the Gaikai version, but if you have a fast enough internet connection, it wouldn't be unreasonable for them to come up with a way of doing it the other way, which is having it so it actually downloads the stuff actively. So if you go and you decide you want to play single player, it downloads all the single player stuff first, and then if you decide to go multiplayer, it'll download the multiplayer stuff first and then do the single player.
And the best part is it'll know before you even do it which one you want to do.
Ooh,
so
it may, considering. I mean, if you think about it, honestly, if you're playing, if you're a Call of Duty player, you're probably going to go play the multiplayer. I mean, that's the truth.
If you're a Call of Duty player, you've probably only bought the multiplayer version because Activision are obviously going to release 2 from now on.
Sure, absolutely. Let's see, what else? The cloud service that they're going to use, which is also part of the Gaikai technology, is going to be able to stream PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. But most likely, and I'm figuring most people are going to understand this concept, you won't be able to use your own discs on it. Now, that being said, I actually have a thought process on this, but we'll talk about that later. Let's finish up with what we do know.
Digital download, digital distribution is going to be huge.
Digital distribution is going to be huge, but not massive, because if games start getting into the 40 gigabytes realm, Sony has said that they actually they are going to keep around the Blu-ray, because obviously they have 100 gig Blu-rays, and if they can use 100 gig Blu-rays, they should use 100 gig Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm. The worrying part is that your current PSN purchases won't be on the PS4.
That's part of. Let me just finish up with the stuff we know.
That is what we know.
That is what we know. You're right. I guess there's the stuff what we know that sounds good, and then I was going to do the stuff we don't know and the stuff that's bad.
Oh,
I guess was where I was going to go.
Sorry.
The PS4 itself is very developer friendly, which I think most people, at least in the developer community, like. x86 CPU, which is the basic CPU everybody uses in their computers nowadays. A good 8 gigs of memory, which is actually pretty solid for a console at this point in the computing.
I have a theory on that, though.
Okay.
But we'll get to that later.
Okay. Your graphics chip is a decent AMD graphics chip. And I think that's all the stuff we do know. That's... Okay, so it's an x86 architecture, but it's not the 32... I know. Shut up.
It's supercharged.
We're doing the layman's way of going about this. I'm not gonna go into
which is totally not the same as like blast processing.
Yeah, they didn't go into the blast processing realm. Anyways, going into the bad side of things, or not known side of things, we don't know the price point. We don't know what the console looks like. Which are kind of two big things, but at the same time, not surprising.
We didn't know.
People keep bringing that up like it's a bad thing.
Which one?
Why do you care what it looks like? What difference does that make to anything?
Well, it gives confidence that they're actually going to be
exists?
able to deliver. Yeah, that it exists, that they're actually going to be able... No, and that they're actually going to be able to deliver on their holiday 2013... That they're going to be able to deliver on their holiday 2013 release
timeline.
That's a pretty big concern. If they don't have a final product... If they don't have the final product completed and the production isn't starting in the next month or two... That's some serious concern to be able to have enough supply to be able to meet the demand that comes in the Christmas time.
I have a theory about that too.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll get to your theories in a little bit. We don't know a lot about a lot of the other games that are being released for the console. We have a few, but we don't have a lot.
You could kind of make a lot of assumptions, though.
There are a lot of assumptions. There are a lot of assumptions that can be made, and we'll talk about that during the theories part of this discussion.
So many theories.
Yeah, I know, right? We also, what is the other pieces that we don't know? I think that's just about wraps up what we don't know. I mean, those are kind of the bigger pieces.
Oh, we don't know about used games and stuff.
No, we do. They've announced that they're not going to hardware lock out used games.
They've announced that there's an option for like publishers and developers to maybe do something, but they haven't been entirely clear about what it is they're letting them do.
What they said is that they're going to follow the same current system, that the Play Pass sort of concept. So if a developer takes advantage of that, they're more than welcome to. That's what they said. They said they were more than willing to let that happen.
Oh, and we don't know about like prices for their online services or anything.
We don't know prices on online services. We don't know what the future of PSN Plus is.
Which would be, if that goes, it would be like the biggest travesty.
What do you mean you don't know the future of the PSN network? They were talking about it for like a good hour.
Well,
like
what
the PSN Plus thing,
paid subscriptions and such.
And that is in my theory section. So let's jump into the theories section then. Zed, since you are the sort of the guest, if you will. What give me your sort of short story theories you have.
Here's a couple of theories. First one about why we haven't seen it yet. Do you remember when they revealed the original PS3? Yes. And it had all these ports and stuff for stuff they said you'd be able to do with it?
Yes.
Like it had SD card ports and a bunch of other things.
Right.
It still ended up with some SD card ports, but it had like significantly less in the first than it actually. So I presume they're just sort of holding on to it until they know exactly what they want to put in it, but not in a kind of way that affects the actual console, like the developing of games and whatever, but like the extra stuff, like storage.
I would take that a step further, that they're not going to release the design until Microsoft releases theirs, because they want to know how many USB ports to put on the front. They want to know what ports to put on the back. Same
reason they haven't announced a price, I think, is because they want to let Microsoft sweat a bit.
I absolutely think that is absolutely the reasoning, because they do not want to do the $599 skit and then have Microsoft come out and say it's going to be $300.
And the reason I think it has so much RAM, I don't think games will have access to that much, because they talked a lot about how at any point you can capture the last 10 seconds of gameplay or whatever, and share all that, and like you can have all these things where you take over somebody else's game and stuff.
Right.
And for that to run in the background, I think
standby mode.
See, all that stuff they've got going on in the background is going to take up a colossal amount of RAM.
The system itself is going to take some memory, of course. But to counter that a little bit is if they use like a hybrid drive, which I think would be a really smart idea for them to use a hybrid hard drive instead of just a traditional hard drive. Meaning one of the ones that has like the 4 gigabytes of SSD storage on the front end, and then the 250, the 500 on the back end. The concept that they could do there is that they have all the streaming stuff in that 4 gigs, and then they wouldn't have to use memory for that purpose.
I think that they've probably got a lot of wizardry going on, because a lot of that stuff sounded like, if they deliver on that, it sounds pretty amazing.
Also, apparently the dedicated video hardware is what's actually supposed to handle the video uploading, streaming, and sharing piece, so that's an interesting piece in and of itself. I'm sure the APU is going to have something to do with it as well.
I mean, they made some big promises, and it always worries me when Sony makes big promises, because...
Yeah, I agree. So my little theories here and there. My first big theory is that they're going to redesign how Plus works. I think with the concept... I really think they're going to deliver on what we've talked about previously. That is... Hey, you want to play the entire back library of all 4 consoles? Pay this per month, you can do it.
That'd be tempting.
Yeah, I was thinking
that sounds way too good to be true.
Yeah, would it be included with PlayStation Plus Network?
That's a question I don't know. Here's the reason I think that's going to happen. How the fuck are they going to do the Steam, the cloud-based thing otherwise? You pay for the stuff individually on the cloud? Because that seems like a good idea, but...
That's what you do now. Like, your PSN Plus games don't exist.
Right, but... Well, no, they do exist. You have them on your...
Yeah, but if you stop paying that, if you stop having access to the cloud, you don't get them anymore.
Well, you can't get them anymore until you pay back to in, yeah.
Yeah.
But I really think that makes sense for the concept of at least the back... At least the back catalog of stuff. I think that makes sense for them.
I really hope they're... So PS3, like, if they do that, PS2, they'd need to be faster rolling it out than Nintendo are with their virtual console.
Well, Nintendo's virtual console is a travesty and a half at the moment, if you ask me.
So slow.
Having access to their streaming software will probably be a plus thing. It'll probably be PlayStation Plus only. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because it's Ustream. I don't think they'll do that because they don't need to use anything on their end if you want to stream. It goes straight to whoever's servers that are doing the streaming stuff, similar to what we use with like XSplit or OBS. So I don't think you'll need to have Plus to be able to do streaming. I think that also it's an integral part of the console. I really don't think they'll do that. Mainly because of things learned from Microsoft's Xbox Live Gold stuff. Like, oh, you want to use the extra special features on your console? Pay us X.
I want to have Netflix for free? Well, here, pay us money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how like Sony have always offered free online? I figured if they wanted to go down the route of charging to play online,
no, we'll cry.
Because I get the feeling that somebody there is at least thinking about it. If they put that in with all the other stuff you get from PSN Plus, I would do it. But I would never pay just to play online.
I think they would really have to incentivize if they change their system at this point. They are committed at this point. Because the thing is that when Microsoft did their concept in the beginning, it's always been like that. You've always had to buy an Xbox Live subscription to be able to use Xbox Live. It hasn't been any other way. If you want to play online, you're paying for it. With the PlayStation Network, it's always been the opposite. If you want to play online, you have to it's free.
You don't really have to do anything.
You have to sign up.
Occasionally get like activation key.
Account.
Yeah, you get an email. So I really there would be a massive backlash, and considering right now if Sony wants to win or at least lead out correctly in this console generation, they absolutely have to match or do better than Microsoft because they have the ability to do so. I mean, if you look at it, what happened with the Xbox 360 and the PS3? The Xbox 360 came out first. Developers switched gears over to it and had a more conducive sort of online system at the time. Now, they've learned a lot from there, and now the install base is about the same. But they have to, if they want to be competitive in this next wave, they have to be able to match or do better than Microsoft. And Microsoft.
I also think they have to get out first.
I don't necessarily think they have to get out first. They just have to get out at the same time.
Because I mean, I know
they have to not be a long period of time behind.
My theory on why the 360 did so well in the beginning, I have a lot of theories, is that like a few people bought one, and then when their friends came to get a console, it was like, oh well, my friend has a 360. So if I want to play with him, I have to get a 360.
No, I definitely
and then
agree.
it just kind of escalates.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. The problem is, exactly. They told two friends and so on. The problem is, and this is what we were just talking about with the supply chain issue. They are waiting a really long time to give us the final specs on this thing and show us what the actual console is going to be. If they don't have it in production already, they won't be able to meet that deadline. If Microsoft's been churning them out already, then Sony might be fucked from the get-go again if they don't have enough produced. So that's
on the flip side, if Microsoft had gone in like a completely different direction and they're already into production, they can't put the brakes on now.
True. Absolutely.
So I mean, if Sony managed to make themselves look more appealing and they can get out, as you say, at least at the same time,
yeah, no, I agree.
They're better off.
I agree, and at this point, it makes me kind of wonder what Microsoft's going to do. The one thing I did really like about this was their focus on the gaming side of things, and it was even funny after the fact. Jack Trenton said, you know, this event was for the gamers. You know, gamers don't. You know, the people who use our boxes just basically for Netflix and other media shit. They didn't stay up till 4 a.m. to watch our stream. The gamers watched our stream, and they wanted to know about the console, and they're the ones we're focused on right now. You know, they came out and said that, and everybody else, you know, when originally, I remember there was a thing that a Microsoft rep was saying, you know, we want to go the entertainment route. If Microsoft comes out in their presser and goes entertainment, and not gamer, they might be at a disadvantage from the get-go, depending. But ultimately, we're all hypothesizing. We have no fucking clue whatsoever. And until E3 comes along, really, none of us will really have anything that we can actually say with any honesty. But, you know, maybe news will get leaked out here and there. I'm sure, you know, there'll be more talk about maybe, you know, what games end up coming out.
Can I express a concern?
Sure.
That's something I can say with real honesty and certainty is I'm a little worried about how close the share button is to the D-pad.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I wonder if you can disable
I play fighters, and I like to use the D-pad. I don't know, color me weird, but that is just a prime target for my fatty sausage thumb.
True, I understand that.
I don't think the share thing needs its own button, really.
Are you sure the share? I thought the share might have been. I thought the share was on the opposite side.
Nope, it's on the left.
Okay, you're right. I'm looking at a picture right now. You're right. It's on the left.
And it's really like up there.
Its own button.
It is really up there. So if you do an upright cause,
I'd like to think that all that share stuff you can like opt out.
Yeah.
So maybe you can like if they're smart, they'll put it
button.
Yeah. Let you turn it off.
But obviously, if you want to use it to stream like a fighter, then you might be an issue.
Or I mean, making it so that it's sensitive, so you have to hold it down for like a second and a half. That would work.
That'd be a good idea. I think that would be.
I do wonder whether anybody at Sony's thought, well, what about those fat people who play fighting games?
I don't know. That's just a problem I have because I'm far from accurate with my button presses.
Oh, I'm with you. I understand that absolutely.
So since we're on the PS4, let's talk about what I think is always the most interesting part and the most important part of new hardware, and that's the games.
That isn't about, but that's not about the hardware at all.
Well, yeah, but if you don't have like games, the hardware's pointless.
Yes. Obviously.
Wait, are you telling me that a system without games is pointless?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
I'm gonna take you back.
God, no, please.
7 years.
Save us, please.
And I'm gonna take you back to a time where the PlayStation 3 didn't have many games.
Yes, and nobody owned one.
I know I didn't.
let's stop. Let's stop with that, please.
Okay. Okay.
But no, we can talk about the games real quick. Let's talk about it real quick because we are kind of stringing out a little bit on time frame wise here.
Drive Club was very disappointing to me because I was expecting someone to say Gran Turismo, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, I was right there with you on that.
That's what I thought it was too.
Hearing Drive Club instead of Gran Turismo instantly made my semi-stiffy go down.
And then some guy was just like, oh yeah, I really like
Drive Club is the dumbest name, but I do like the concept. Like team-based driving, I have never seen before, and I'm interested to try it out.
I will definitely agree, and I probably will try it out myself.
I've seen team-based driving before. It's called the game Driver. It's in there.
Driver? No, Driver is terrible.
Drive Club.
You shut your face! I'll shut your gobble, mate!
Java, please. Alright, let's see, what else? We had Infamous Second Son.
Which looks good if you like Infamous, which I happen to.
Yeah,
so
and doesn't like Infamous,
better than Infamous.
Can I just actually, on the topic of Infamous, there was a fantastic part in the conference where the guy went, so you're at the airport and you have to walk through security. But what if you had superpowers?
Yeah, no one had any idea what was fucking going on.
Yeah, nobody had a clue. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, so there was that. There was also the new Killzone game.
New quote unquote.
Well, it looked pretty good. I thought it looked pretty good. It looked good.
Yes, it looked.
It looked good.
I've never been impressed with Killzone games. Ever.
I agree with you there. To me, Killzone has never been. I've never been a fan.
It looks
they're pretty play it safe as far as shooters go, and they had that terrible you can tilt the 6-axis while you're sniping if you want to infuriate yourself. I don't know.
You can play Killzone with the Move controller.
Actually, it was pretty good with the. Actually, Killzone 3 was actually pretty good with the Move controller. I played the demo.
It looked good, but I couldn't help thinking if this was for the PS3, would I give two shits?
And the answer is no for you.
Yeah, and I also thought, is this really a generation's worth of development? Like, is this a significant leap? I think that's a big deal with the new generation. It's kind of it's the law of diminishing returns. Really, there's only so much you can get now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I don't think the leap between last generation and the next one is as big as it was between, say, the PS2 and the PS3.
I definitely agree with that.
The particle and polygon counts really, really strongly during the entire tech demo thing, and I think that's important to a degree.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you looked at the demo for Killzone and the demo for Knack, it was very much so, hey, look at how many particles we can have on the screen.
Yeah.
It was literally the fucking Halo 3 conference again, where they had it was like, yeah, so we can make thousands of sparks now. Look at the sparks bouncing off of everything.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that a good tell of the hardware is particles. I mean, that's the long and the short of it. I mean, what else do you want to know about graphically wise?
But then if you look at that as a practicality, how long when you're playing a game as a player do you spend thinking, oh, look at that particle?
Well, it allows you to immerse. I mean, think of what if there weren't particles? What if there weren't particles? If there weren't a shit ton of particles in an explosion?
Would you
You'd
notice,
be like, oh,
really?
That wasn't really an explosion. Yeah, no, you don't notice it. Like, consciously, you don't go, oh my god, there's so many particles. You subconsciously go, oh man, that smoke looks really awesome and all the debris and shit. You don't actively think, oh man, this is like, dude, look at all the particles. No.
When I first played and when I go back to play Half-Life 2, the expressions and the artistic design is going to immerse me. I'm not going to be like, oh my god, where are the particles?
Well, interesting note. I didn't say this when you asked me what games I've been playing, but I recently, on this new computer I got, replayed all of Half-Life from Black Mesa to Episode 2.
Right.
And the particle effects in Episode 2 specifically look fucking amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
okay, that's answered my question.
Using FONGs and like better bit mapping and such.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wondered who noticed the particles, and then Deadpool says, "Well, he does."
Right on.
So they did all that for Deadpool.
All right, continuing onward.
Oh, just one last thing before we move on to this. Sure. Zed, it's the difference between just having a light source and having a fire that is moving as a light source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
But I don't think it immerses you if you notice it. Like, okay, stay with me, right? If you're in like an actual real-life alleyway and there's like a bin and it's on fire, you're thinking, oh shit, I'm in a dark alley and there's a bin and it's on fire. If you're playing a game and there's a bin and it's on fire and you think, wow, that looks really good, you're thinking, oh, that magical bin that doesn't exist is a really good-looking bin. You're not thinking, oh shit, I'm by a bin.
Yeah.
But if the fire looks like, a fucking two-dimensional object that looks like shit, and then you go, oh, well, what the fuck?
Totally related. Art style. Totally related. Deep down.
It's not an art style thing, though.
Deep down. Caught my eye, and I figured it needed some mention.
Yeah, the deep down. We were going to try to cover all of them because there's only like 7, I think. But yeah, the Capcom tech demo, Deep Down, which really kind of looked like Dragon's Dogma 2. Looked really good. Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that.
A bit more.
Looked pretty well done. Let's see what else. Bungie's Destiny, as we talked about, which we talked about last week during the podcast.
Square Enix was horribly embarrassing for them.
Yep.
I don't think it was horribly bad.
It was alright. Like, the part where they said, okay, here's the video we've already shown you. Fair enough. But then the guy comes out and he's like, please be excited for E3, because we're probably maybe going to do another Final Fantasy, and then just leaves.
Well, he said they definitely are, that they're currently developing one, and there will be more details at E3.
Yeah, but
what else were they going to say?
Why even be there? We know.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, you remember
it's his job to be there. Like,
the Square Enix part. Yeah, the Square Enix part was specifically for the Japanese fans. The whole part was in Japanese. Like, it was pretty obvious that they did that specifically to kind of.
But why are you going to do that at a PS4 launch reveal event thing? You're not going to be like, okay, here's some amazing hardware that you haven't
they announced seen. They announced it for. It was a Sony thing. It was Square Enix coming back to Sony. That was why.
Did they leave?
Yeah, they released.
They released games for the for the 360. Yeah.
Does that count as leaving?
They started with the 360. No, I'm talking. They came out. Remember, you remember this? They came out at E3 for the 360, and they said, "Hey, we're developing this for the 360 and also the PS3." Which a lot of people were upset about.
They've developed games for other platforms than Sony for ages.
Right, but it was a big deal. It was a big deal. You're belittling it. You know as well as I do it was a big deal.
They made crystal bearers for the Wii and stuff. It's not like they,
Zed. Yeah, but you see, Nintendo's also a Japanese company, so it didn't feel as much of a betrayal as saying we're making it for Microsoft Xbox 360.
Oh, right.
Thank you. Thank you,
now
Deadpool.
I get it.
Fuck.
Fair enough. It's a thing that I don't understand.
the new Watch Dogs video demo for the PS4
looked
that was pretty cool. Made everybody
It was less impressive than the first one, I'd say.
I didn't think so. I thought it was pretty awesome.
It depends on if it's organic.
Sure.
Like until I get my hands on it and I can do that shit, I won't believe it because I'm jaded and cynical.
No, I'm with you. I'm right there with you. Quantic Dream showed an old man with hair.
David Cage, such a dick.
Media Molecule played a concert.
Yeah, that was. Do you remember when? I can't remember who it was. They came out with like the Wii thing at E3 once, and they just had the dude drumming.
Yeah.
It was like, that's where we've gone now. That's where that went.
I thought that was, I thought it was, yeah, this was kind of goofy, but at the same time, it was kind of cool. I mean, yeah,
I'd play with it, the sculpting thing. It looked nifty, but it's kind of like.
The sculpting thing was nifty, but it's a toy. That's a pure toy. John Blow.
John Blow.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Okay.
Sorry, Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan Blow, and explosions are shit.
And then he showed off that Witness game, which I thought looked interesting but pretentious as fuck.
John Blow is my anti-drug.
If you wanted to make Myst more pretentious, you'd get John.
Oh, it was the Myst game. Yeah, that looked pretty good.
Yeah, the Myst one. Yeah, I remember when I saw it, I went, "Oh, it's Myst."
I hope they do more than just mazes, though, for puzzles.
Yeah.
Like
they won't. It's Myst.
We made every puzzle unique and dynamic, and I'm seeing a whole shit ton of mazes.
I'm seeing a whole lot of the mazes you do with your mouse.
They're all unique, dynamic mazes.
It's hitting this. It's hitting the crab's weak point for massive damage.
What could be cool with that is because mazes have like near infinite amount of possibilities.
Sure.
What if every time you play it, it's randomly generated mazes?
Right, Peter Molyneux, go away.
Oh boy.
Thank you. No, Myst wasn't. No. Potate. Myst. Potate said
it's
Myst
just
was
like
mispretentious.
if you took something as
the Witness was pretentious.
Myst was just really hands off. Like it was. I really loved Myst. It was like a world. It was the first time I thought, "Holy shit, this is gorgeous," and I'm in a world.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't like you weren't pressured to do things. It was really cool and kind of like you were allowed to just exist.
Yep.
But then, if you get someone like Jonathan Blow, he can turn that idea into something really pretentious. Because when you start using words like "you are allowed to exist," it gets interpreted as right. Well, that's some sort of pretentious, artsy, philosophical question. Then let's do that.
Yeah. Anyway, so then finally,
great.
the last game that was announced, that I think everybody kind of went, "Oh, that looks kind of cool," was Knack.
That was the first game to be.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
Well, yeah. With the last game we're covering.
It's not often. I imagine people who know more about animation than me will probably chew me up for this, but I thought it was pretty sort of Pixar quality.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like I saw a lot of like this could be an animated film in it, which I thought
What do you mean, could be? It is an animated film. Oh wait, no, it's a game. Never mind.
It looked really cool, and I'm definitely interested to see more. And that one looks to me like a game that is a really cool little launch title thing. It's sort of similar, in my opinion, and thought process though.
Little
to
Big
like,
Planet.
Yeah.
I kind of got a Little Big Planet.
See, I kind of thought like Cameo.
A little bit of a vibe. Cameo. That was what I was going to say. It had that sort of vibe. That it's going to be a launch title that you're going to play, and people are going to be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," and then it's never going to be heard from again.
Yep.
Hey, I
That's
own
exactly
a copy of
what it
Cameo.
I mean,
it's nice to see that like sort of mascot based, what I assume will be some sort of action adventure puzzle platformer type thing. Yeah. I'm glad they're not going away.
Yeah, it looked like a context sensitive kind of semi, beat 'em up
I think
action.
I like Ratchet and Clank personally.
Yeah, it had that. It had that like
sort of Ratchet, Jack and Daxter.
It looked a little more 2D than Ratchet and Clank to me. That's what I was seeing.
I think he was talking more towards the feel, running around, beating stuff up, collecting shit, that sort of concept. So like this sort of modern Sony platformer, I guess, because it's not really like the same as like the modern Nintendo platform.
Kind of like where Spyro would be if it hadn't gone south.
Yes, there you go. I like that. I like that one. All right, so that is the PS4 in a nutshell.
The PS, whatever number we're on, just put it there. Just
Freudian slip. PS4.
We forgot something.
Tune in next week when
we forgot something.
What did we forget? Blizzard
showing up at the PS4.
Oh, we didn't forget that. We just purposely glossed over it.
Hey!
I didn't get to bitch about it.
Oh, see, I'm actually excited about it.
I am excited for it too.
I'm really interested how Diablo 3
doing stuff, but they popped up. It was like, oh man, they're gonna announce it's like a new IP or
or
StarCraft Ghost,
for StarCraft Ghost,
or they're gonna make a Darksiders-y game based on Warcraft.
I wasn't excited for Diablo. I wasn't excited for Diablo 3. I wasn't excited for it until they said it's going to have split-screen co-op, a la Legend of Zelda: The Four Swords.
When did they say that?
It's not a la Four Swords. It's like Dark Alliance or something.
It's
more than anything.
It's all on the same screen.
No, but they say that if you go off the screen into little houses and stuff, it'll do the little bubble.
Pick up your Vita that you've bought separately.
No, it'll do a little bubble like the Four Swords is what they explained it as.
You mean the one I already have? Okay, fair enough.
So I was like, oh shit, yes, this is good.
It sort of it intrigues me because I do wonder how they're going to manage to do always on DRM on the PS4.
Oh god, no.
Well, I mean, how's the real money auction house going to work on the PS4?
I don't think it will.
How are they going to make sure that single players have lag for their single player experience on the PS4?
Yeah,
you sir. That was funny. No, actually, I'm excited for that. I guess it was kind of glossed over. I mean, I think Blizzard's sort of doing the whole testing the foot in the water system with this to see if it's actually worth it for them to develop something for a console.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going on here. Because I mean, who knows? Maybe maybe a year and a half from now, we'll be talking about how World of Warcraft is on the PS4 because they're talking free to play now. Like that sort of concept. Who knows?
I would have imagined that would have gone better on the Wii U. Personally,
yeah. Well, as I said, just
I'm glad it hasn't, obviously, but
right. I was just using that as an example. Who knows? That's so far in the future. Who knows? Anyways, let's move on because I think we've PS4'd out for the most part.
I believe we've talked to PS4 as much as possible.
Well, we're gonna do the same thing when the Xbox Infinity gets announced. I'm just gonna keep going with that name, and then once the name changes, we go with that because I don't like calling it the Durango.
And they come out with their killer launch title, Kinect Adventures 2.
The exclusives for the Xbox have sucked, but basically you could call all of the first-person shooter multi-platforms exclusives for the 360 as well.
Might not be the same in the next gen.
Yeah.
Might not be the same in the next gen, but for this last gen, it basically was.
And that's what I think
agree.
would cripple Microsoft is if Sony got their sort of lead platform status back.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Activision came out and said, "Hey, we're fully supporting the PS4."
Yeah. So if the next Xbox fails, it'll be the last Microsoft console for a long time, if not ever.
I was gonna say this might be the last Microsoft console, regardless, as we talked about last week.
Which would suck because as much as everyone hates on Xbox, I love the way that the community has grown. That is not the 12-year-old kids.
I was going to say, but you have mostly 12-year-old kids. No,
by community, do you mean like people like Callie who dance?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
No, actually, the one thing that we did forget to mention, which is actually the most upsetting thing for me about the entirety of the Sony press conference.
Okay, PS4 again.
Yeah, sorry, just the last thing. Every PS4 is going to have a mono headset included.
I'm confused.
It's going to have a headset.
Kitty off.
Yeah, but like, how many of its
about.
Users are going to figure out how it works? Come on.
I'm figuring all of them.
Wait,
because
so what
it's included in the box.
Is it going to be Bluetooth or plug into the controller?
It plugs into the controller.
Okay.
Didn't the 360
so it's exactly like
those,
like
7 years ago?
360
exactly
came
like
with one of
Xbox.
those, and that's why the 360
And see what happened. Yeah.
has a lot of voice chat, and you see what happened. You have
but I think
14-year-olds telling you to go F your mother and dropping N-bombs all over the place.
Yeah, actually that died off a lot when they released the 4GB version Xbox, because that didn't come with it, and so many kids got that for Christmas, and so you don't hear talking as much as it used to.
Do you know what would be amazing? And like, I can't believe I'm about to suggest this. Okay, we were talking about how like PSN Plus, like if they wanted to make you pay for online or whatever.
Yeah.
People who without PSN Plus get to play online for free. People with PSN Plus get their own servers.
Yeah, no, that is
because then
actually,
all the little kids aren't going to have subscriptions.
Unsurprisingly, that has been a suggestion that many people in many a forum have brought up at some point or another. Anyways, let's move on because we have talked about this for significantly too long of a period of time. Even as my fanboyism lets it happen. Let's go ahead. We got a couple more topics of discussion, and I think we'll invite Venom on again to continue his discussion. You know, Venom has been sort of a standard sort of call-in person. Anyway, so next topic of discussion is something of a little bit of a... I don't know if I necessarily term it as a sad thing. It's sort of a passing of an era. And that is, of course, the 1UP and a couple of other IGN platforms.
GameSpy.
Including GameSpy, who I will diatribe about all day if you'd let me.
I have a small amount of respect for GameSpy for letting me play my pirated copy of Borderlands online without having to do anything.
Oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh is dead too.
Oh yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is dead as well.
Is that like Yu-Gi-Oh? Or...
You mean Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, it's a game news website. They were the first. They were Kotaku before Kotaku existed.
Yes. I'm not sure if that's something to be proud of.
Kotaku originally, not Kotaku now.
Is that like saying EverQuest was WoW before WoW existed? Is that?
No. Well, yeah, I guess that's the way to put it. Yeah. But yeah, so that's. I mean, those things are pretty sad. I mean, GameSpy especially is sort of a passing of an era because I remember, and I'm gonna do the whole. I remember back in the day when I was playing PC games back when, and GameSpy was the only way to play with people.
But it was nice and easy.
To go play Rogue Spear, you know, you'd go find a server using GameSpy. You didn't have to. It wasn't like, you know, it was basically Steam before Steam came out.
But you got like an account, and then you signed in, and that was it. Yeah. You were done.
You were done.
Like, you weren't fucking about, you know. And it worked with like pirated things. That was the amazing part.
Yeah, that was the amazing part. But yeah, so I remember that being so.
To be fair, that's probably why they went out of business.
No, honestly, well, no, they did it was a cost-saving measure because IGN is bleeding money because they're idiots. But yeah, no,
they're not
like
writing enough articles about social justice.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy,
they're not bringing in the ad revenue.
Yep. But you know, tons of games that were on the GameSpy network I remember playing back in the day, and so that's sad. You know, that makes me has a sad. So pour out half of not half of, but a little bit of a 40 for your homies.
1UP used to do not terrible coverage.
Yeah, and 1UP was not too bad either.
They were pretty inoffensive, you know. They just report the news and maybe review a couple of games.
Well, I remember when 1UP originally came out, it was a replacement for PC Gamer and EGM. So, but yeah, passing of an era. That's, you know, it's kind of sad for sure.
So here's to them.
So here's to them. Yeah.
Almost silence.
Yeah.
And that's that done.
All right. Anyway, so let's move on. Actually, I will leave the next one for Venom because he was going to come on and talk about that. So let's talk about something from the oddities of the gaming news. Apparently, there is a report. I don't know if were there pictures associated with this Deadpool. I'm not sure.
This was it was on the PS4 stream.
What
was it?
Yeah.
The Ninja. Really?
Yeah, he came on that little montage they had of developers saying nice things about it.
Oh. Yeah, okay, so this is pretty interesting. Yeah, the Ninja Theory head,
to me,
his head was shaven. So there was that. I don't know what else
interesting
there is
theories
to say.
about that.
Yeah, I guess there's some interesting theories about that. Deadpool,
interesting ninja theories.
Deadpool, you care to share any sort of thought process there?
Cancer.
Deadpool's melted.
I think we've lost Deadpool, guys.
His god awful like input on Devil May Cry gave him cancer.
Yeah, basically. I'm upset that Deadpool didn't get to. Well, no, he's not actually. He doesn't actually have cancer.
Yeah, we wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't like Devil May Cry, but I'm not going to actually go and make jokes about a guy who's got cancer.
Yeah, really, we're not that. We might be sick individuals. We're not that bad.
We might be like low class, but that's that's still a class.
That's even lower. Yeah, that's dirt. So there's that. That was an interesting topic. I don't know where Deadpool went. I thought Deadpool had stuff to talk about with that.
That was his moment. And
that was his moment.
And he doesn't look offline.
No, he doesn't. That's weird.
Maybe he's just crying like silently to himself about the thought of meme with no hair. He's just so cut up about it.
Maybe he is. I feel
like, no, glorious to meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just pinged him. It made a sound.
Bing.
Hey, sorry about that.
Oh, hey, cool. We were talking about the Ninja Theory head shaving thing, and you weren't here to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I didn't really have much to say. I just thought it was crazy.
Then, he's bald.
So that was an odd story. Awesome.
Yeah. You did
awesome.
It. In other news, Notch doesn't have enough money yet.
Yes. So the humble indie bundle this past couple of days, weeks, whatever, was actually the Humble Mojam bundle. And it had a bunch of games in it in their Mojam, Game Jam, Development Jam thing.
Like, indies get a lot of stick, and I see a lot of it because I hang around with a lot of indie people because I'm like E-famous. No, but some really good guys are involved in that. Like, I don't know whether anyone's played Super Crate Box on Steam. It's free. It's really cool. Made by this studio called Vlambeer, which is just like two guys. They're in the jam. They're amazing people. I met one of them at Eurogamer, and like he made me play their new game. I think it's called Luftrausers.
Okay.
And like he made me play it. Like I was over playing Hotline Miami, and he was like, "You come and play this." I was like, okay. And he said, "Okay, now don't suck at it." Okay. And then he just like stood behind me, coaching me into how to be good at this game that he'd made. And then he was like, "You are fantastic. Well done. Have a good day." And I was like, thank you.
Wow.
He's like a really tall dude. He's like 6'9" or something. He's like huge.
Okay, we got somebody eating and someone
whoever's eating, if you could, not chew as loud, that would be appreciated.
Raimi, I think his name is.
You could fuck off to the moon.
Massive poofy hair.
Right on. Well, so anyway, so the Humble Bundle Game Jam. I actually have the developed games. Mojang created 3 games: Nuclear Pizza War, Endless Nuclear Kittens, and Battle Frogs. Battle Frogs and Nuke the Dinosaurs Blueprint Prototype. Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Thank you. Grapefruit made Tectonic. Sorry, can't pronounce. Ludosity made Space Hunk. Oxeye was responsible for 3918. Vlambeer made Wasteland Kings, and Wolfire made Lowlight.
Wolfire, you should know who Wolfire are. They did what did they do? They did a thing.
Apparently you don't know, mister.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you gonna down me and you don't know?
Right there.
Okay.
Let me just
all of the
consult
games,
my inner mind.
Fair enough.
Google.
All the games
isn't Google.
All the games look very, in gamer jam style games. Very basic-ish type.
Overgrowth,
games, but interesting.
And Lugaroo.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's what they did.
No, it's okay. More can be read about it at their website. So if you didn't already check that out, check it out. Echo.
Overgrowth is awesome. Wait, how are you guys not hearing me?
No, we heard you. Just heard it echo.
What the fuck?
I don't know, but now we don't. It's okay.
Deadpool, you don't actually have to drink to be on a podcast.
But it helps.
But it helps.
It helps. Oh, it helps. Trust me. Right on. So, it's basically next to nothing. You can actually pay, $1 to the Humble Bundle and actually get those games. So, apparently, Venom just passed me a story. Apparently, there was an anonymous donor who donated $100,000 to the Mojang.
That was probably
charity.
Notch making himself look good.
I have a feeling that might have been it, in all honesty, but go figure.
I'm not gonna. If I was a millionaire, I'd
donating money to himself.
What if it was Bobby Kotick and he just thought that maybe he'd be less of an asshole if he donated money?
That'd be stupid. Bobby Kotick doesn't know that indie games exist.
There is absolutely nothing that Bobby Kotick could ever do at this point that could prove to me that he wasn't a complete and utter idiot.
The only time Bobby Kotick knows other developers exist is when he's getting ready to buy them.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Zed. Shit. All right. Well, that was all the topic of discussion that we had. I'm going to go ahead and add Venom.
Before we add Venom, can I do my announcement, or are we going to do that later?
No. Well, actually, let's add a Venom first. We'll end with that.
We'll end with it. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
We'll end
it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, it feels good, baby. I mean,
feels good.
Feels good.
Good.
Feels
Yes,
so
it
good
feels
on
good.
my.
No, stop it.
Go first.
No. We're gonna do the announcement after.
All right.
After I kick you out of the call like I did last week.
Crap! I was gonna have to reopen all these tabs of news that I closed. All right.
We can't have missed that much.
Oh. All right. And because I like to create controversies, we all know, I opened up game politics so I can keep the discussion relevant, somewhat kind of.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Goody.
Oh, goody.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you guys notice how at the PS4 announcement thing there were no
Go
women
away.
speakers?
Get out!
Social justice activate.
Check your privilege and leave.
Yeah, there you go.
See, I have the
Please check your
privilege
privilege.
to turn on my computer and bitch about it, and there we go.
I got an automatic privilege checker. It does it for me.
Performs
7 mega checks per second.
Purifier that you get in Fallout 3. Yeah, that's like me, but I have it as a privilege checker. All right. So
I just have
off,
a mirror. I just look into the mirror and think, it's pretty awesome being me, and that's my privilege checked.
I'm a white male. Yay.
Woo!
All right. Fox News highlighted that Assassin's Creed DLC, the Tyranny of King Washington, and they went and talked to the Mount Vernon estate curators, and they tried to bait them into saying, oh yeah, it's a terrible thing that they're portraying Washington as a king and a tyrant. And the people at the estate were just basically like, no, it's an alternate timeline. We have no problem. It could have happened, but it didn't.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like,
that is awesome.
I watched the interview on television, I'm just like, boom.
In your face.
That is.
Why would they still broadcast it if it didn't get them what they wanted?
I don't
Because
even,
it's Fox.
Because they're Fox.
Yeah. A new scam alleges, or alleged infringers with, or new scam threatens alleged infringers with jail time if they don't settle.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was funny.
You heard about this?
Yes.
Internet Copyright Law Enforcement Agency, if you could get any more dumb, recently sent out copyright infringers to victims, warning them that if this matter is not settled by Friday, March 1st, 2013, you may face serious potential and/or criminal and/or civil charges filed against you.
What's this for?
So this is
like piracy.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah.
Well, okay. So what it actually is it's sort of similar to the FBI virus that went around for a while.
Okay.
Oh, that's
so for those of you, for the quick synopsis, basically, fake thing popped up on your computer that said that the FBI was going to arrest you unless you went and bought a green dot card from 7-Eleven, filled it up with $200, and gave them the number.
Yeah.
Why anybody in their right mind would believe that the FBI would want you to send them a green dot credit card?
FBI really needs some Slurpees.
Apparently the FBI really needs some
FBI
Slurpees.
is run by Harold and Kumar. Oh god.
So there was that.
What's funny about this, Zed, is that only the government can throw a person in jail or indict them for a criminal act or civil crime. Apparently the website now, Bren, says effective immediately, the Internet Copyright Law Enforcement Agency has ceased operations. Please disregard any notices you receive from us and do not send us any payments.
Sounds legit, guys.
So 10 out of 10 would get trolled again.
Yeah,
it's
really.
fine. I'll transfer them money from my Nigerian bank account.
Yeah, I will. That
I'll
sounds
ask
like
my
a great
Nigerian
idea.
prince how he's feeling about his money.
Just need to give us $1,000 and suddenly you'll have lots more. Good faith money. Good faith.
Oh, Shariko says that one person actually did buy a money pack card.
Oh, no, trust me, more than one person.
Oh, God.
More than one person, Shariko.
Oh, God.
I was still working at Best Buy when that first came up.
Trustworthy Nigerian Banking Limited.
Yeah, basically.
Nevada has legalized online gambling, and I wonder how Zynga is going to pounce on that, how quick.
They're probably already doing it.
Oh, yeah. They probably already had something in the works. They were just waiting for it to become legalized.
Of course.
No, I'm serious. They probably did.
Like, I can't... If you had to think of, like...
It wouldn't be hard to monetize existing games. Just
what would be an entity that is somehow more evil than Bobby Kotick?
Zynga.
I'm surprised that he doesn't work for Zynga. Or isn't...
He's gonna buy them. I bet he will.
Secretly, he probably already owns them.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I thought Facebook was buying Zynga.
We didn't talk about this
Zynga's
week,
making
but
I don't know.
about Zynga. So you know how they made that Sims clone?
Oh, yeah!
No, we talked about that last week.
Oh, we did? Okay, yeah,
That happened
okay.
last
We did?
week, yeah.
I don't
Right,
remember.
so if anyone's going to buy anyone, it's Zynga's going to buy Activision.
What happened?
Zynga's not going to be buying anything. They keep closing shit down.
Yeah, I was gonna say Facebook is probably actually gonna buy Zynga. I'm pretty sure
will be owned by EA.
I'm actually pretty sure. No, Zynga isn't owned by EA.
Will be, I said.
No,
Zynga's
I'm
not owned by anything yet.
I'm actually. You're thinking of PopCap owned by EA, but actually, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure Facebook is probably gonna pick up Zynga.
Yeah. I mean, they're basically already sleeping with each other like friends with benefits. Why the hell not make it official?
Exactly. Thank you.
There's just so much paperwork in that.
U.S. District Judge Lucy Coe told Apple and Samsung that both sides need to limit their cases to 25 patent claims each, and no more than 25 alleging infringing products could be listed. Basically, specify your shit and stop poking each other in the backseat, or I'm turning this car around.
Bang their heads together and say, "You two play nice."
She basically said, "Don't make me turn this car around."
Yeah.
She basically said, "Wait." She basically said, "No, you can't patent air, and no, you can't patent water. Stop doing this."
Yeah, there you go.
Stop trying to patent the rounded rectangle. You realize they've done that. You realize they've done that.
In joke news of the week that actually happened, Ubisoft in an interview acknowledges that they have a bad relationship with PC gamers and wants to improve it. I'm like, stop adding fucking DRM at the ass to your products and maybe...
They might want to start improving their relationship with Wii U owners.
In other news, I'm
still not playing Rayman Legends.
Ubisoft having a bad relationship with PC gamers. In other news, water is still wet.
The sky is blue.
Apple is still trying to copyright both of them.
Mostly blue. Yes, and Apple is trying to copyright both of them.
Samsung is already filing a countersuit.
Yep, absolutely.
The police are looking into the video game habits of Sandy Hook elementary shooter. In other news, Venom doesn't know why this isn't dead yet.
Yeah, I know, right?
Holy God, would you guys just leave video gamers alone? Then again, Cyrus always brings up a good point that when that Dead Rising Riptide thing came out, it's like, we're trying to tell them that we're not vicious killers and video games don't make us killers, but then we've got a bloodied torso in a bikini as a special edition gift.
Yeah, I'd really hope they look at the reaction to that, because nobody thought it was cool.
Nobody thought it was cool,
but people bought it, and subsequently they're now on an FBI watch list.
Deadpool, please.
Deadpool, please. You guys know how phone jailbreaking was made illegal?
What?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah, and they got 100
petition. Now has enough
signatures.
Signatures.
So
is this like a petition on the same thing that got us to tell the White House to build a Death Star?
Yes.
Yep.
But
well, that would go really well.
No, but here's the thing: is that they actually have answered questions that are basic questions. Unfortunately, I can almost guarantee you that we're all going to be very disappointed by the answer, because what's going to happen is they're going to come out with, well, we understand your concern. The fact of the matter,
but they're paying us more money to not re-legalize it.
Yeah,
I saw one of those stupid petition things to try and get DMC taken off the shelves.
Yep.
Like people were petitioning the White House to ban Devil May Cry.
Yeah, well,
I got behind that.
There was a petition to change the national anthem to the My Little Pony theme song.
Get out.
So
it's obviously a joke, but it is a position that exists.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. And people wondered why in the hell the White House decided to change the barrier to entry from 20,000 signatures to 100,000 signatures. Everybody was crying about it.
Because 20,000 people can be idiots. 100,000 people can be idiots, but it's harder to organize them.
It's harder to organize
them. But that pony thing is going to be back on there in like a day.
You know that, I don't know if you guys talked about this, and I'm sorry that I have to bring it up. that
really don't have to.
PS4 will not block used games.
We talked about this.
We literally talked about that less than 15 minutes ago.
I know, but I came in right in the middle of the discussion. Okay.
Okay, I saved one news story for no. I say you're rambling on and on. I saved one news story for you. You have the ability to do that news story now, or I'm going to kick you out of the call because
I will do it. I will do it. I had one thing left, but I'm not even going to touch it because I'm going to ramble on forever about it. So go ahead.
Okay, you had one news story that you talked about, and I was going to save for you, and that was the Team Meat game. So why don't you go ahead and give us about the Team Meat game?
All right, the Team Meat game, which has been, God, I don't even know how I should describe it. Is it like, it's like Clarity, the video game. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it otherwise. I'd have to.
They have themselves have described it as Pokemon meets The Sims meets something really evil.
With
and that's pretty accurate in my opinion.
It's a crazy cat lady simulator.
I'm intrigued.
Awesome.
Called Mugenics.
Crazy cat lady the simulator.
I read somebody got to preview it and they talked about their play session. They had a cat and then a stray came in and they had a baby, but the stray gave them cat AIDS and the babies were blind and the babies went out and all their babies were blind. And like the original mother died of cat AIDS, and the stray went away, and then it ended after they'd got like a doctor to come and like fix one of the cats, but it was too late.
For a doctor could help find a cure. Yeah, you're talking about the joystick article.
I think so.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? I remember this game that a lot of people love to play occasionally, and that's Real World 2008, I think it was.
Yes.
Why don't people just go back and play that? They don't need to
that's
play
not cats.
Goiter culture.
Yeah, you're right.
You are 4 years old. You have been raped.
You just answered the question. Wow. Said wow.
You got.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I know that's what happens. But
check your privilege. Rape jokes aren't funny. They're hilarious.
You have been born into the like shittest shitfuck place on earth.
Shittest shitfuck place. I'm using that.
And yet, right? Okay.
You are sterile.
All this stuff happened, right? Like you'd get raped or you'd get dementia and your parents would die, but then they'd keep having 17 kids or whatever. But then you get this pop-up that was like, a war has broken out in your region, you weren't affected. And I thought, well, thank fuck for that. All this other shit's going on, but at least I'm not in the middle of a war.
Made you feel real appreciative of that, huh? Yeah. It's like, man, shit could be a lot worse.
The game is like the ultimate privilege checker.
I think it is the ultimate where it's like, your internet has gone down. Like, your router is being slightly shitty. You have gone to the toilet and forgotten to take your smartphone. You know, like...
First world problem. Real Lives 2008 or something?
Yeah, Real Lives 2008.
Goiter culture.
And in closing, Mugenics will launch on Steam, iOS, and Android sometime before the end of the year.
Awesome.
And in which... I wonder if they're going to do beta testing, because I'm going to put Clarity's name at the top of the list.
It better be able on Humble...
They don't need to beta test.
It better be on Humble Indie Bundle by the end of the year, because then I can get it all the versions for like $1.
Yeah,
God knows it will be.
Probably will be. All right. Well, thank you, Venom.
No problem.
Do you have any last words?
Too late.
Glenn Beck blame.
Okay, that's like
shit.
Thank you, Venom, for joining us tonight. Next time, I have to remember to give you like a time limit. No,
harsh.
Thank you, Venom. Appreciate you being on. We'll see you next week, probably. Maybe.
No. Possibly.
All right. So, anyways, we're wrapping it up here for the night. And I know Deadpool has a special announcement, and then I believe that is all we're gonna have for this week. So, Deadpool, take it away.
All right, guys. Now I know you've been interested because at least 4 people posted in a post on the forums, which is, I think, a new record for our forums. 4 people posted in the thread, and the thread was about the MMO that we're going to be playing, and I didn't announce a date. I just said March. Well, the date we're doing it is March 2nd, and we'll be doing it from noon to 6. I'll be there noon to 6 Eastern Standard Time playing this game. And the game we're going to be playing is Battlefield Play for Free, and I'll be updating the forum post with links to the website and whatnot. The game might have a last-second change in the middle of the week if I can get somebody else to confirm. on an Origin account if they have Battlefield 1942. In which case, we might all just download Origin and then play Battlefield 1942 for free.
I'm not entirely sure. Hang on, I just have to interject. Yes. Not sure I can be on a panel where one member of said panel in any way justifies the downloading and installation of Origin.
I have Battlefield 1942, Deadpool.
Okay. I'm not completely sure if somebody makes a new account on Origin, and will they get it? So if somebody could get a new account on Origin and see if they have it, then yeah, we should totally just do 1942.
We should totally.
That's like saying if someone could go and sleep with that hooker to see if she's got AIDS.
Yeah, but 1942 is great. 1942 is great.
1942 is pretty good.
As if you just know, like, oh, got AIDS.
Oh.
Remember,
all right,
people,
so
1942 is about flags.
So if 1942 doesn't work, we're just going to do Battlefield Play for free, and I'll be updating the forum post either tonight or tomorrow with the Battlefield Play for free information next Saturday, 12 to Sunday. 6 Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, that is
Saturday. Let me know when we
it?
get to RuneScape Classic.
I guess unfortunately I will not be able to join in on that because Saturdays are bad for me. Sad face.
Sorry, Brendan.
Well, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. Hopefully next time we can get a game on a Sunday instead of a Saturday.
Yeah, and as always, update the forum posts. I'm going to leave it in the topic for as long as people are able to keep it there. Just keep updating it with new games that we can consider for next month. All right, and that's it.
Cool. Right on. Well, that wraps it up then here at the podcast of this week, which of course, episode 2 podcast Super Turbo Classic Edition.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. Thank you all for watching or listening or both. And do check us out on hopefully the YouTube channel, which will have this on it at some point, I would imagine. But of course, if you're listening to this on the YouTube channel, then you wouldn't really actually need to hear about that. Whatever. Anyways, thank you all for listening. This, of course, has been Brennan. I have been joined this evening by Chocolate, Zed, Rook, and Deadpool. And thank you all for watching. See you next time.